Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
If you're looking for a film that doesn't just entertain, but actually makes you think, there's an older yet truly unusual movie worth watching. Sometimes films turn out to be much deeper than they seem at first glance, and some stories only begin to reveal their true meaning years later. The Truman Show is exactly that kind of film. When it was released in 1998, the concept seemed like a strange piece of science fiction. Interestingly, that same year also brought two other remarkable films exploring the philosophy of human reality, Dark City and Pleasantville. So, The Truman Show is the story of a man who has spent his entire life inside a massive television set, without ever realizing that the whole world is watching him. But today, the film feels almost prophetic. Truman lived under constant surveillance, surrounded by hidden cameras. Now, millions of people voluntarily do the same thing on social media. We film our lives, post them online, and turn everyday moments into content. In the film, the show's creator carefully controls Truman's life, subtly shaping the events around him. Today, a similar role is played by algorithms. They decide which news we see, which videos appear in our feeds, and even which ideas and opinions we encounter most often.
The way to think about it is it's 2.7 billion Truman Shows. Each person has their own reality with their own facts. Over time, you have the false sense that everyone agrees with you because everyone in your newsfeed sounds just like you. And that once you're in that state, it turns out you're easily manipulated, the same way you would be manipulated by a magician.
It's rare for a film to be as clever, tightly constructed, and richly detailed as The Truman Show. But it's even rarer for a film to go beyond that. More than 20 years have passed, yet its allegory feels more relevant than ever. And the only real way to understand its meaning is to dive into the story itself. The film opens with a monologue from Christof, the creator of the show, a speech that immediately sets the tone for everything that follows. Truman is the unwitting star of a reality show centered entirely around his life. As a child, he was legally adopted by a corporation and raised to believe he's just an ordinary man living on the idyllic island of Sea Haven. Even the name of the main character is likely a kind of allusion to the story itself, and a play on words. Truman sounds like true man, a man searching for truth in a world built on illusions. Because Truman's entire world is a lie. Every person he knows, including his mother, his best friend, and his wife, are all paid actors. Sea Haven is fake too. In reality, it's a massive island built entirely as a set. All of this gives Christof, the director of The Truman Show, almost complete control over Truman's world, from the ability to control the weather to switching day and night. Every minute of Truman's life is broadcast around the world, while an additional stream of money for the show comes from product placement.
All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about?
At the very beginning of the film, we see a camera embedded in Truman's bathroom mirror, where Truman pretends to be an explorer while getting ready for work. For Truman, it seems like just another ordinary day. But when strange things begin to happen and Truman starts to suspect something is wrong, Christof is forced to intervene. For example, when Truman is on his way to work, a massive stage light suddenly falls from the sky onto the street right in front of his house. Truman walks over to inspect it and sees the label Sirius. That's the name of the brightest star in the night sky. And strangely enough, on his way to work, the radio suddenly begins broadcasting a story about pieces of an airplane falling from the sky. An explanation for the spotlight that just appeared.
Here's a news flash just then. An aircraft in trouble began shedding parts as it flew over Sea Haven just a few moments ago. Wow, luckily no one was hurt.
Then the broadcast shifts to talking about the dangers of flying.
Do you thinking of flying somewhere?
Nope.
Oh, good. This is Classical Fly with Classical Drive, so why don't you forget about the perils of flying?
This is one of the many subtle ways Christof tries to influence Truman, planting fear to make sure he never attempts to leave the island. The radio begins to guide him almost subconsciously. And this kind of subconscious manipulation continues throughout the entire film. For example, when Truman's boss suddenly sends him on a business trip, a trip that would require traveling by boat. By doing this, the boss reinforces Truman's aquaphobia, since we see that Truman can't even bring himself to walk toward the boat. As the film later reveals, this fear is itself another form of subconscious manipulation. The entire day feels very strange to Truman, so confused and unsettled, he returns home to his wife Meryl. She begins showing him a new set of kitchen tools she supposedly bought at a store, presenting them so deliberately that it almost looks like a commercial.
It's a chef's pal. It's a dicer, grater, peeler, all in one. Never needs sharpening, dishwasher safe.
Wow. That's amazing.
Looks familiar, doesn't it? In almost every scene, in nearly every conversation, Meryl tries to slip in an advertisement for some product. Today, this has become a completely normal part of life for celebrities, bloggers, and influencers, which creates a strange realization. Truman was trying to escape his show, while we seem to be gradually turning our own lives into one. Truman's behavior slowly begins to change, and he announces his desire to travel to Fiji. Marlon quickly notices that Truman is starting to suspect something, so he immediately dismisses the idea. He doesn't want the main character's escape to ruin the entire show. All of these scenes demonstrate one crucial idea. Truman's fabricated world can only function as long as Truman continues to believe in this false reality. That's why the show must make sure Truman can never escape his cage, or even realize that he's inside one. The methods Christof uses to mislead Truman are one of the clearest parts of the film's allegory. Truman is constantly exposed to propaganda and subtle manipulation designed to reinforce his fear of flying. But Truman is influenced by more than just fear. Christof completely controls his world. Everything Truman does in his daily life serves a single purpose. Even the television he watches reinforces this idea. The media constantly displays headlines that directly push the narrative they want Truman to believe. Even the people Truman interacts with every day repeat the same phrases and the same reassuring statements. Propaganda seeps into every aspect of Truman's life, and ultimately into the structure of the society around him. It looks strikingly similar to propaganda in our own society. Just like Truman, we are constantly fed narratives designed to keep us unaware of the illusions behind modern ideology. Every day, society tells us who we are, what we should do, and who our enemies are. And just like Truman, we're encouraged to ignore the signs that something isn't right, that we may be living inside a carefully constructed illusion, almost like the human batteries in the Matrix. And once people buy into that illusion, they begin helping to sustain it themselves. Today, everyone has become the star of their own reality show. People promote empty trends and unrealistic standards, showcasing carefully curated artificial lives on social media. And in doing so, they end up shaping the values of everyone watching. They see the fake lives of others and try to live up to the same standards in their own lives. The corporatization of society shapes the way people live, both in the Truman Show and in our own world. And just like in our society, whenever people begin to question things, think differently, or try to step outside the system, they are quickly pushed back into line, or completely silenced. Some even point to Jim Carrey himself. According to various conspiracy theories, the actor was supposedly replaced by a clone, or somehow taken by secret elites. When he appeared on stage at the French César Awards, many people online claimed that his appearance looked drastically different from the typical Jim Carrey. Others brought up an old interview where he said,
"I don't exist, so they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish. You know, Jim Carrey was a less intentional character."
For conspiracy theorists, that was enough to connect the dots. In their view, he had been warning everyone all along, and then he was simply replaced. But let's return to the film itself. Truman's desire to understand the true nature of his reality is ultimately what allows him to break the false world he was living in. He becomes free. But at what cost? Everyone he knew, His family, his friends, his colleagues, he loses them all. Yes, they were actors, but only for the audience. For Truman, just like for us, those relationships felt completely real. He risks everything and steps into the unknown in order to be free. Was it worth it? That's something we can only speculate about. And that's the central question the film leaves us with. Are we truly living our own lives, or simply playing a role for an invisible audience? Write in the comments which films left a strong impression on you, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.